Hello YouTube and welcome to another edition of the Gravestone Pros here at North Country Memorials. We are so glad that you have come today. It's going to be a great day, a little bit different. I got a friend that is going to be guest appearing on the channel today, and we'll hear a little more from him in just a minute. All right, we've got 3 more stones on here, 3 nice colors. These are what I call my base colors. North American Pink or Mountain Rose, Mahogany, and Gray. All produced here in the US. Of course, the Mahogany is Canadian Mahogany, and the Mountain Rose is also Canadian color, obviously. So they are quarried in Canada, but they are all shaped and polished and all that here in the States. Here is a stone that we caught a mistake on. Somehow we had a 1948 and going to a passing date of 1928. Luckily Dad caught that, and that is not going on the stone. All right, we're gonna head out to Sven, our good buddy from Pennsylvania, and he's gonna introduce a new segment.
Hello and welcome to Gravestone Pros. This is not Curt Christman, but this is Sven Miller from Miller Monuments in Leolda, Pennsylvania. I've known Curt and Christian for many, many years, and they actually got me started in the monument business, and he's told his story before about me a little bit, but I would like to introduce tips and tricks. And if any of you have any tips and tricks, we ask you to present them by video form, and Christian will play them somewhere on the program somehow. And the tip and trick that I'd like to introduce you today is how to deal with the setting compound that comes in a bucket. All of you are familiar with it, and it's a pain to get it out of the bucket somehow. But Curt had suggested to me one time years ago to take, when I get a new bucket, to take everything out of the bucket, form it into balls, whatever size you want. I do probably tennis ball size, and then I put it all back in the bucket again with water. As you can see here, and then I just pull my ball out, whatever size I want, just a couple of them, and form them. They're just so much easier to get out of the bucket if you do it that way. So I was thinking of this song today, love is something if you give it away, and also it's like a magic penny. Hold it tight and you won't have any. So share your knowledge with everyone, and you'll get more. We ask that you give your name and the name of the company that you work for or the company that you own, and just share your tip with us. Thank you and have a great day.
Sven, thank you for that. That was really fun to see somebody else doing a little filming and talking, and always great to get tips and tricks from other people. That's one of the things that we have really enjoyed about having this. We call ourselves the Gravestone Pros. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. There are days when we certainly do not feel like the pros, that is for sure. So to be able to get some of that information from different guys, and some of the comments have been really helpful and different things, it's been neat. So looking forward to this part. If you want to send me stuff, send me an email. We'll figure out how to get that done. That would be great. Little tip and trick for you, Sven, and other guys that want to send stuff. Do not shoot with your video in portrait mode. Turn it to landscape mode. That way we've got a nice even, and then we won't have any of those black quarters on our video. So when you're filming, remember to turn it sideways. That is a little tip for you. Sven, I hope you send more. That was fantastic. There's that stone all done. Looks really cool. Not a stone style we do very often. Look at that rocked back. But that is something the customer had requested. And so I was like, hey, we're happy to do it. Makes a very interesting stone for sure. Looks super cool. I love it. Anyways, didn't get a lot of filming of this done. That is the one that is on the rollers right now, the base that we caught the mistake on. So thankfully we caught it. So it's going to look great when it's all finished. So I got an email the other day, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. The person had emailed and said, hey, I purchased a stone from X company and something was wrong on it. A date was wrong. It was supposed to be a 0 and it was a 1, or it was supposed to be a 5 and it was 1, something like that. So 1 digit wrong, but wrong is wrong. And They said, what can be done? I talked to the company. They said, I have to buy a new stone if I want it correct. So obviously this situation must be where the customer had signed off on it incorrectly, and that is always one of the worst things. It happens to me sometimes where a customer will give me improper information or incorrect information. They sign off on it and they don't think much of it, but once it is in stone, there really is no good way to take care of it. Back in the day, my dad went to a cemetery to put a final date on, and he ended up going out. He was with my grandparents. It was the first time he was kind of showing them, you know, his new business and what he did, and so he had them with him. He was a little distracted. He went up and there was 2 stones, one for each brother with the last names both the same, and the one brother had contacted him to put the final date on for his brother, his other brother. And so instead of going and putting the final date for his brother, he went and put it on for the man that contacted him, who's clearly still alive since he's the one that contacted him. And Dad didn't know what to do, so he got talked to some different people, and they said, well, you can take and crush the stone, get a little sample of it, crush it down, make powder, mix that in with epoxy, and then fill your letter in with that. And that does kind of sort of work, but not for long. And let me show you what happens. There is the stone right there, Gordon. So he did that method, took and filled it in, and it looked pretty good on day 1. But as time went on, that epoxy, you can just kind of see those numbers, 1993 on there. That epoxy, eventually, it starts to yellow and it starts to not look so good anymore. The gentleman called back, Raymond was his name. He called back and said, hey, Kurt, we've got a problem. Those numbers that you engraved in are showing. And so Dad went, looked at it. He said, yep, you're right. We will replace that stone. So that is why this one is sitting here, because we had to replace this stone. That is the only proper way to fix. When you have engraved into something, the only way to get it off is to not get it off. It's to get a new stone and start over and do it proper. So that's kind of what I told the customer. The company that she's talking to, they are correct. There really is no fix. Now, they could do that kind of a fix, and I have done that before. When a customer made a mistake, I have done that kind of fix, but I tell them, this is not permanent. It will show up. Now, if you were to letter over top of those letters with a different numbers and different characters, it will hide a lot of what you end up seeing because it gets blasted right down in again. So that is the kind of thing that it's hard to know what to say and what to do, because it can be made better and it can be a lot less expensive, obviously, than replacing it. But I don't have any problem with the company that says, no, the only way to do it is to pay for a new stone. In those situations, I try to make it as reasonable as I can for the customer. I'll take a little bit off my price. I've already done the work of doing the design up. You know, I know how it's going to go. I know where it is in the cemetery. We don't have to order a foundation. There's many things that are kind of taken care of for the process, so it is a little less work for me to redo a stone like that than if somebody just comes in to buy a new stone. But I still have to get paid. I still have to run my business, and you know, I still have to make a profit on the pieces that I do. So it's, you know, it's one of those things. I always feel terrible when it happens, but when I make the mistake, I don't fix it like that. I fix it by doing a new stone and doing it right with something like that. Now, with other little things, maybe if there's like a tiny little chip out of the stone or a little something like that, I will offer the customer to take cash back on the stone or a discount, or, you know, whatever it may be, in lieu of fixing it perfect. And sometimes customers are happy to do that. Sometimes they're like, no, I want a new stone, and I never feel bad if that's their answer. I just like to give them options. For me, I like sales sometimes, so hey, if I could have the same thing, there's a little scratch or a little dent on a dryer or a washer, shoot, give it to me. I don't care that much. It's worth saving $100, you know. But it totally depends, and I totally respect the customer's decisions on that with what they do. But there's no great way to fix a gravestone. Another way I should mention, another thing that can be done, is you could take and cut that panel down and that would be one way to fix it. You could take and grind it down and then blast those letters in, but there will always be less granite there. You're taking granite away. So is it a true fix? It really is, but it definitely is altering the stone. It's altering the original product. So again, if it's my fault, I'm not going to do it that way. But I, anyways, wanted to share her story. I figured it might be a relevant piece of information for monument guys and for customers or people that are potentially wondering or have that situation happen to them. Now, if the monument guy is the one that makes the mistake, you've signed your paperwork is all correct, but then he does something different on his paperwork than what you have agreed upon and signed on, make him replace that stone. That is his responsibility. If you have signed paperwork saying it should be X and there's Z on there, then you make him buy you a new stone and put it on there proper. Do not let him fix it by filling that in like that. It will not last the test of time, and he should go good for it if he makes a mistake. And I've done it, and it's costly, and it's not fun, but it needs to be done that way. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was entertaining and educational. That is always my goal. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers. We are so close. Last I checked, we were at 1980, I think. So 20 more subscribers, we're going to be there. I want to thank you all for subscribing. If you're watching and you want to help support us and you have not subscribed, that's one way you can do it. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Smash that button. We really appreciate it. Guys, we will see you all next time.